Hello, welcome to Daily News from Martyrdom TV. House of Grand Ayatollah Shirazi commemorates martyrdom of Imam Hassan, peace be upon him, in Holy Qom, Iran. Coinciding with the anniversary of the martyrdom of Imam Hassan Mujtaba, peace be upon him, the House of His Eminence Grand Ayatollah Shirazi in the holy city of Qom held a commemorative ceremony to mourn the anniversary of this holy Imam. The lecturers at this ceremony talked about the legacies and the virtues of Imam Hassan Mujtaba, peace be upon him. Sayyid Ahmed Shirazi begins hosting Husseini memorials at his house in Kuwait. Sayyid Ahmed Shirazi, son of His Eminence Grand Ayatollah Shirazi, begins hosting Husseini memorials at his house in Kuwait. These memorials began with the start of SAFAR, hosting public groups of cultural and religious figures. Temporary Office of Grand Ayatollah Shirazi holds special programs in Arbaeen 2022. The temporary office of Grand Ayatollah Shirazi in the holy city of Karbala continues its special programs during the Arbaeen Walk of 2022. Like the previous years, this office will be hosting pilgrims, cultural and religious activists, and the representatives of other Islamic authorities during this event. Discussion panels, answering religious queries of pilgrims, and holding religious ceremonies are among the main activities of this center. Several TV networks cover Arbaeen Walk of 2022 in Iraq. Media groups related to the Grand Ayatollah Shirazi in Iraq, including several TV networks, cover the spiritual Arbaeen Walk of 2022. In the meantime, the Al-Shaaer TV office in Basra City and Najaf Ashraf TV network provide live coverage of the pilgrims on foot to the holy shrine of Imam Hussein, peace be upon him. Grand Ayatollah Sayyid Husseini Shirazi always encourages the believers to globalize the Arbaeen pilgrimage and ensure wide media coverage of this expression of interest and devotion, and these activities are carried out in accordance to the recommendations of His Eminence. Servants of AhlulBayt community obtains permit to hold Arbaeen Walk in Ghana. The community of the servants of the AhlulBayt, peace be upon them, affiliated with the office of the Grand Ayatollah Shirazi in the city of Accra in Ghana, proceeded to obtain the permission to walk in the streets of the city on the day of Arbaeen with the aim of reviving the Husseini rights. After many efforts, the members of this group managed to get an official permission from the government of Ghana to commemorate the Arbaeen. This action was carried out in accordance with the recommendations of the Grand Ayatollah Shirazi regarding efforts to expand and universalize this great day and the Husseini holy rituals. Yaseen Husayniya commemorates martyrdom of Lady Roqayah, peace be upon her, in Australia. Yaseen Husayniya, affiliated with the office of the Grand Ayatollah Shirazi in Sydney, Australia, held a ceremony to commemorate the anniversary of the martyrdom of Lady Roqayah, peace be upon her. These ceremonies are attended by groups of Shia believers and lovers of AhlulBayt, peace be upon them, who mourn the tragedies of the holy AhlulBayt, peace be upon them. Matam al-Saken Center mourns martyrdom of Imam Hassan and Lady Roqayah, peace be upon them, in Bahrain. The Husayniya of Matam al-Saken, affiliated with the office of the Grand Ayatollah Shirazi in Bahrain, held a ceremony to mourn the martyrdom of Imam Hassan Mujtaba and Lady Roqayah, peace be upon them. This ceremony was held last Friday, hosting groups of Shia believers and lovers of AhlulBayt, peace be upon them, as well as several cultural and religious figures. Office of Grand Ayatollah Shirazi holds weekly ceremonies in holy Najaf, Iraq. The office of His Eminence Grand Ayatollah Shirazi in the holy city of Najaf held another session of its weekly ceremonies. These ceremonies are attended by various cultural and religious figures, including Ayatollah Sayyid Murtaza Shirazi. The believers at this ceremony honored the martyrdom of Lady Roqayah, peace be upon her. Al-Shaaer TV hosts meeting of advocates of Grand Ayatollah Shirazi in Baghdad, Iraq. Some advocates of His Eminence Grand Ayatollah Shirazi convened at the headquarters of the Al-Shaaer TV in Baghdad, the capital of Iraq. During this meeting, the latest developments of Iraq, the upcoming Arbaeen pilgrimage, the significance of adherence to the religious leadership, and making the Iraqi nation educated about the culture of the AhlulBayt, peace be upon them, were discussed. AhlulBayt Center holds Husseini memorials in Mahajanga city of Madagascar. AhlulBayt Center, affiliated with the office of the Grand Ayatollah Shirazi in Mahajanga city of Madagascar, held another session of its weekly ceremonies to mourn the martyrdom of Imam Hussein and Imam Hassan Mujtaba, peace be upon them. This ceremony was attended by tens of Shia believers and lovers of AhlulBayt, peace be upon them, who listened to a speech by Sheikh Muhammad Razi al-Wasram, the director of the Office of the Grand Jurist. Abiha Institute supplies drinking water to Husseini pilgrims in Holy Karbala, Iraq. Abiha Institute, affiliated with the Office of the Grand Ayatollah Shirazi in the holy city of Karbala, supplied drinking water to pilgrims of Imam Hussein, peace be upon him, during the Arbaeen pilgrimage. Thousands of bottles of drinking water were given out to religious mawakib. These services are conducted in accordance to the directives of the Grand Ayatollah Shirazi. It is worth noting that Abiha Institute also offered the same services to pilgrims in the holy city of Najaf. Each year, Abiha Institute runs numerous programs to facilitate the Arbaeen pilgrimage. Lady Zainab Institute continues programs in Basra, Iraq. Lady Zainab Institute, affiliated with the office of the Al-Shaaer TV in Basra province, continues its cultural and religious programs. In these programs, lots of teenagers learn about Islamic beliefs and the Quranic stories. Sadiqiyya Institute prints the statements of Grand Ayatollah Shirazi on SAFAR 28, 1440 AH. Sadiqiyya Cultural and Charitable Institute, affiliated with the Office of the Grand Ayatollah Shirazi, printed the statements by His Eminence on SAFAR 28, 1440 AH, coinciding with the martyrdom of the God's final messenger, Prophet Muhammad, may God's peace and blessings be upon him and his family. This book was printed in Arabic language. This is the 13th book printed by Sadiqiyya Institute. Imam Hussein TV broadcasts special programs during Arbaeen Walk of 2022. Misbah al-Hussein Cultural Foundation and the Holy City of Karbala, in cooperation with Imam Hussein TV Network, conducted a special broadcast of their annual program during the blessed days of the Arbaeen Walk of 2022. In this special program, a group of poets from Iraq and abroad will appear and express the history, culture, and oppression of the AhlulBayt, peace be upon them all. For the 6th year in a row, Misbah al-Hussein Foundation broadcasts this program, which brings together Husseini's writers and poets from different countries. This year, the special broadcast of this program has started on the first day of SAFAR, and during it, thanks to the efforts of the Office of the Grand Ayatollah Shirazi, the poets participating in this program are honored with a plaque of appreciation. Misbah al-Hussein Foundation launches educational campaign during Arbaeen Walk of 2022. Misbah al-Hussein Cultural Foundation in the holy city of Karbala launched its first educational campaign for pilgrims who participate in the glorious Arbaeen Walk of 2022. In a statement, this foundation announced, the first educational campaign for Arbaeen pilgrims was established in accordance to the recommendations of the Grand Ayatollah Sayyid Sadiq Husseini Shirazi. This statement added, this campaign is organized with the cooperation of the media group of Imam Hussein TV with the slogan of Hussein Unites Us. This statement also expressed hopes that this pilgrimage would result in the hastening of the reappearance of Imam al-Mahdi. May God hasten his advent. Husseini Mawakib installed banners of Grand Ayatollah Shirazi in Arbaeen Walk of 2022. Several Husseini Mawakib installed banners of His Eminence Grand Ayatollah Shirazi, on which the prayers for the reappearance of Imam al-Mahdi are printed. With the beginning of the Arbaeen of Imam Hussein, peace be upon him, Misbah al-Hussein Foundation and Imam Hussein Media Group distributed these banners among Husseini Mawakib. Activities by Shia Societies Association in Arbaeen Walk of 2022. With the arrival of the Arbaeen Walk of 2022, members of the Shia Societies Association, affiliated with Imam Shirazi World Foundation in the holy city of Karbala, began their new phase of activities during the Arbaeen Walk of 2022. The members of this association also commemorated the martyrdom of Imam Hassan, peace be upon him, and visited the shrine of Lady Sharifa, peace be upon her. During this visit, both sides discussed ways to facilitate the Arbaeen pilgrimage. Several Mawakib, including Zain al-Abidin Mawakib, Al-Hussein Mawkib, and Al-Ashab al-Imam Hussein Mawkib, were among the centers that were visited by the members of the Shia Societies Association.